Hey there, survivors. How's it going? I'm your host, Douglas here at Dromway Productions, bringing you another Trick or Treat Studios mask review. And today we'll be continuing our journey taking a look at many different Trick or Treat Studios products this season by taking a look at another R.L. Stine piece, and of course, we're going to be continuing to take a look at more Goosebumps pieces. So viewer beware, you're in for a scare. Previously, we've taken a look at pretty much the entire line of TV series latex Goosebumps masks by Trick or Treat Studios, but now we are smack dab in the middle of taking a look at the new book series vinyl mask line. So far, we've taken a look at a couple of heavy hitters in the franchise, starting out with Curly and moving on to Slappy, two of the most recognizable faces for Goosebumps as a franchise. And today we're going to be taking a look at something that isn't quite as iconic, and I believe this is the first ever mask of this character. The other two characters, Curly and Slappy, both have multiple masks in the past that were even by Trick or Treat Studios and Parachute Press, the initial series of vinyl masks. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Mummy from Curse of the Mummy. I believe the fifth Goosebumps book, and certainly a very recognizable book cover and recognizable book, but not a very iconic character. You do see mummies from time to time on different Goosebumps merchandise, and they even make several appearances in different books in the series and the movies and games, of course, but very seldom are they the same mummy. It's not really a single recurring character. Of course, most mummies, like zombies, could just pretty much be any dead person. And I guess it kind of makes sense why we never got a mask of this character, because it's a pretty basic and generic sculpture here. Not to say that it's not well executed. I think overall the bandages and the placement of everything looks really good, but at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of fabric. This one does really, really well capture the look of the cover of the book because of the paint job and of course the sculpture itself. But let's go ahead and talk about the sculpture. So of course, all the way around, you pretty much just have bandages. On the back here, you do have a small slit and a keyhole, and of course the Goosebumps slime splat there. But outside of that, not a whole lot to talk about. You have a bit of a sunken in part here with the nose and the eyes shadowed, no real details there. And of course the eyes themselves are just little round, protruding, glowing orbs. They don't really glow, but they're painted to look like they glow, of course. And then we can talk about the paint job. This is actually one of the coolest aspects of this mask that I didn't really recognize in most of the pictures I had seen of these online. It is painted to look like the book cover in the way that there's a very subtle red shading on this side and blue shading on this side to kind of give the lighting effect that is on that original Tim Jacobus artwork. Another strange thing to mention is that this mask is actually poured in blue vinyl. You can hopefully see it here. The entire mask was cast solid blue, so presumably if you stripped all the paint off of this, it would just be blue bandages. Very strange looking and a very interesting approach of how they started with the base being blue and then painted the white over top. And of course it looks like the red was just misted on there as well. Now as for visibility and breathability, yet again, this looks to be one of those masks that's going to serve much better as a decoration, as a display piece than something you would wear for cosplay. But you definitely could. It just has very, very small slits above the eyes here and a very small slit right here in the nose. Looks like you get nothing for the mouth, so I would imagine that it's probably going to be pretty difficult to breathe in and pretty hard to see in as well. So I wouldn't say it's ideal for comfort, but as a display piece, it's definitely really cool. It's a character that we have not seen represented very much on different Goosebumps merchandise, so I think it's a worthy addition to the lineup. There are some other ones that I think are a little bit questionable that we'll be getting to very soon. By process of elimination, you can probably figure out what we're getting to, but regardless, I think this is a really cool mask, so let's go ahead and take a look at the excerpt directly from the website. Sculpted yet again by Alexander Ray. He did the entire lineup, if you could not tell by this point. Alexander did a fantastic job on these, bringing them to life and making them look like the actual artwork from the books, so I love these. I have no complaints at all about these whatsoever. So far, sculpturally and even paint-wise, these have definitely impressed me, but moving right along, it says Trick or Treat Studios is proud to present the officially licensed Goosebumps Mummy Mask from the chilling Goosebumps installment, The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Pick up the Goosebumps Mummy Mask today, but beware the Mummy's Curse. Speaking of the Mummy's Curse, I just want to say the premise for this book is probably one of my favorites out of any Goosebumps installment, that pretty much everything happens because of a cursed mummy hand that a child found at a garage sale. I've said it in my other reviews and I'll say it again here. These are vinyl masks, which means that these will not rot. These will be around for years to come. Unfortunately, for people that do like to repaint their masks, that can be a little bit of a problem, but for pretty much everybody else, if you're a collector and you want your masks to be around for years and years to come, these will not rot away. And of course, for anyone out there with latex allergies, I'm sure you're happy to hear that we do have some really cool vinyl masks. Of course, if you did want to put together a costume, mummy wrappings is like one of the most basic from childhood, easy to do costumes ever. So grab one of these and grab whatever you decide to use as your wrapping, whether it be tissue paper if you're that crazy, or some actual genuine wrappings, and put yourself together a nice mummy costume using this mummy mask from Goosebumps. These masks are for sure worth the pickup for $50. It's a bit more generic and less iconic than the other two we've taken a look at so far, but still for $50 as a piece for your Goosebumps collection, absolutely worth it in my opinion. And if you're interested in adding one to your collection, you can get them directly from Trick or Treat Studios or one of the many different retailers that carries their products. And I would recommend going ahead and picking up one of these soon, because all the different Goosebumps vinyl masks seemingly have been selling out, and Goosebumps is one of those intellectual properties where we never really know if these masks will be around next year, still available for purchase. So be sure to grab yours while you can. And with that being said, I love you all. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for some more Trick or Treat Studios reviews coming very soon, and I'll see you next time.